we are going to perform our lab on the topic that is earth fault analysis in isolated neutral point system and transmission line. The objective of our lab is to investigate the performance of a transmission line with isolated neutral point connection in the case of an earth fault, and then to measure the fault current of asymmetric short circuits and to compare the result with those for the three-phase faults. So students, before coming towards our hardware, first we will discuss in detail about different types of faults, and then we will come towards our hardware part. So students, first coming towards what is fault in power system. So students, as we know that under normal or safe operating conditions, the electric equipments in a power system network operates at nominal voltage and current values, and once the fault takes place in a circuit, the voltage and current values deviates from their nominal ranges. Therefore, the fault in the power system is defined as the defect in the power system due to which the current is distracted from the intended path, and the fault creates the abnormal condition which reduces the insulation strength between the conductors, and the reduction in this insulation will cause the excess damage to the system. And also due to the fault, it involves the electric failure of the equipment such as transformers, generators, and bus bars, etc. So usually power system networks are protected with different switch gear protection equipment such as circuit breakers and relays in order to limit the loss of service due to the electrical failures. So students, now coming towards that, what are the probabilities of faults in power system? There are a lot of probabilities of faults to appear in the power system network, and the faults in the power system may occur because of the natural disturbance and also because of the accidents. So a natural disturbance includes the lighting apparatus failure, high speed winds, and earthquakes, etc. Whereas in case of the accidents, it includes that the falling of a tree and vehicle colliding with supporting structure and aeroplane crashing, etc. Now students, we are going to discuss different types of loads. The different type of faults that occurs in the power systems are shown here in the figure, and the types of the faults includes that you can see here that the power system faults include the two main types of the fault, which is the open circuit fault and the short circuit fault, whereas the open circuit fault is further divided into the one conductor open, or either two conductor is open or three conductors are open. And in case of the short circuit fault, we have two types of the fault, which are symmetrical and unsymmetrical, or sometimes they are called asymmetrical faults. Then these faults are further divided into some categories. So students, we will discuss each type: open circuit fault, short circuit fault, and symmetrical and unsymmetrical fault in detail. So students, first coming towards our open circuit fault, that what is the open circuit fault? So the open circuit fault mainly occur because of the failure of one or two conductors, and the open circuit fault take place in series with the line, and because of this it is also called the series fault. So such types of faults affect the reliability of the system, and the open circuit fault is categorized as you can see here in the figure, that it can be a single phase or open circuit fault, and it can be a two phase open conductor, or it can be the three phase open conductor. So students, if we consider any transmission line which is working with a balanced load, and before the occurrence of open circuit fault, if one of the phase gets melted, or the actual loading of the alternator which is running will be reduced, and due to the reduction of the loading of the alternator, it will cause to raise the acceleration of the alternator, and therefore it will run at a speed slightly greater than its synchronous speed. So due to this overspeed, it will cause over voltage voltage in other transmission lines, and thus a single and two phase open condition can produce the unbalance of the power system voltages and current, and this cause a great damage to the equipments which are connected. So students, now we will discuss that what are the causes and effects of these open circuit faults. So the causes we have already discussed that it can be if a transmission line gets melt, or how now what's the cause. It is because some cause of the open circuit fault includes that the broken conductor and malfunctioning of the circuit breaker in or one or more phases. So what will be the effect of this open circuit fault? It will obviously have the abnormal operation of the system and danger to the personal as well as the animals, and therefore it will exceed the voltage beyond the normal values and in certain parts of the networks, which further leads to insulation failure and development of the short circuit faults. So students, due to the open circuit fault, the short circuit fault will also lead because of the open circuit fault will exceed the high voltage from the nominal value, and therefore it will lead to the insulation failure, and open circuit fault is also the cause for the short circuit fault. So although open circuit faults can be tolerated for long periods than the short circuit fault, so they must be removed as early as possible to reduce the greater damage. So now we will discuss about the short circuit faults, that what are the short circuit faults. These faults are also called as the shunt faults, and these faults are caused due to the insulation failure between phase conductors or between earth and phase conductors, or both. So there are most common and severe kind of fault, and they are resulting in the flow of the abnormal high currents through the equipments or transmission lines. So students, if these faults are allowed to persist even for a short period of time, it leads to the extensive damage to the equipment, and the variable possible short circuit fault conditions includes, you can see here, they can be a three phase clear of earth, and three phase to earth, and phase to phase fault. Now and the other types can be single phase to earth, two phase to earth, and phase to phase plus single phase to earth. So there are 6 types of these different types of the faults. So students, again we will discuss the causes and effects of the short circuit faults. The causes can be due to the internal or external effect, and internal effects includes actually the breakdown of the transmission line or equipments, aging of the insulations, and deterioration of insulation in generator, transformer, and other electrical equipments, and improper installation even cause the short circuit fault, whereas inadequate design is also the reason of the short circuit. And coming towards the external effects, the external effects includes the overloading of the equipments, and this will, due to the overloading of the equipments, large current will flow, and therefore insulation failure will result, and insulation failure due to the lighting surges and mechanical damage by the public. So there can be many reasons, causes for the short circuit faults, and the effects will be obviously arcing faults can lead to fire and explosion in the equipment such as transformer and circuit breakers, and the abnormal current will flow which will cause the equipments to get overheat, which further lead to reduction of lifespan of their insulation, and the operating voltages of the system can go below or above their acceptance values, and which will create a harmful effect to the service rendered by the power system, and the power flow is severely restricted or even completely blocked as long as the short circuit fault persists. So students, now coming towards our symmetrical and unsymmetrical faults. Symmetrical faults are also known as the balance fault, and this fault occur when all the 3 phases are simultaneously short circuited. And the symmetrical faults mainly occur at the terminal of the generator. So the rough occurrence of the symmetrical faults usually range in 2 to 5% of the total system faults, and however these faults occur because they cause a very severe damage to the equipment even though the system remains in the balanced condition. And the analysis of these fault is required for selecting the capacity of the circuit breakers, to choosing the set phase relays and other protective switch gears. It is important to analyze the symmetrical faults, and these faults are analyzed on per phase basis using bus impedance method, matrix method, and using Thevenin theorems. So students, here you can see in the figure that we have two types of the symmetrical fault, that is three phase to earth fault, that is triple line to ground fault, and the other one is triple line fault or the three phase fault. We will discuss each fault separately. Coming towards line to line fault, students, these types of the faults are the balance because the system remains symmetrical even after the fault. And you can see here in the figure the triple line fault occurs rarely, but it is the most severe type of the fault because it involves the largest current, and this large current is used for determining the rating of the circuit breaker. So students, now coming towards our triple line to ground fault, and this three phase the three phase line to ground fault includes all the three phases of the system. So you can see it in the figure, the triple line to ground fault occur between the three phases and the ground of the system, and the probability of this occurrence of this fault is nearly 2 to 3%. Students, next we will discuss the unsymmetrical faults. So the most common fault that occur in our power system network are the unsymmetrical faults, and here in our lab we are also going to perform the hardware task on these unsymmetrical fault, and this kind of fault give rise to unsymmetrical fault currents, and these faults are also known as the unbalanced fault as it causes the unbalanced currents in the system. So unsymmetrical faults includes both open circuit faults, that is single and two phase open condition, and it will include the short circuit fault, which is excluding the triple line ground and triple line faults. So unsymmetrical faults are analyzed using methods of unsymmetrical component in order to determine their voltages and currents, and the analysis of these fault is more difficult as compared to our symmetrical faults. So here in the figure it shows the three types of the symmetrical faults occur due to the short circuit condition, namely line to ground fault. Only one line to ground fault occur, and then in the second part is phase to phase line fault, and the third one is double line to ground fault. So students, in this lab we will perform the third case, that is the triple line to ground fault, this one, and also we will perform a single line to ground fault. So in this lab we have actually we have to check it on our hardware, and we will do it on the transmission line. We will see the effect of the unsymmetrical fault. First, one phase to ground fault will occur, and in the second part we will see the double line to ground fault and see the effect of current and voltages. So students, first we are going to discuss the single line to line ground fault. What is this fault? A single line to ground fault is one of the most common fault, and experience shows that 70 to 80% of the fault that occur in the power system are of this type, and this forms a short circuit path between the line and ground, and these are very less severe faults as compared to the other two faults. The other one is the line to line fault. The line to line fault occur when a live conductor gets in contact with other live conductors. So this occurs because of the heavy winds. So heavy winds are the major cause for this fault, during which swinging of overhead conductor may get touched together, and these are less severe fault at it occurrence range lies between 15 to 20%. And in double line to ground fault, what what happens that two lines come into the contact with each other as well as with the ground, and these are the swale fault, and the occurrence of these fault is about 10% when compared with the total system fault. And this analysis is necessary for determining the size of the circuit breakers for largest short circuit current, and the greater current usually occurs for either line to ground fault or line to line fault. Now students, next we will discuss come towards our hardware part. Now coming towards the hardware part, you will see what we have to perform on lab. Students, now we have to perform our hardware part. Now what we have to do, you can see here in the figure, this is a transmission line with an isolated neutral point earth fault. You can see here that this is our power supply, and in this case we have used the fixed supply. And next we have a circuit breaker, this is our transformer, and next we have a transmission line and ammeter and a voltmeter. What we have to do in this circuit, we will connect each phase of the transmission, each phase of three-phase power supply with our circuit breaker. And in this case, our fixed power supply will have 380 volts fixed voltages, and we will connect each phase of our power supply with the circuit breaker. From the circuit breaker, this output will go towards the transformer. In case of the transformer, we have a primary side and secondary side. The primary side have the delta connection. You can see here we have made the delta connection, and on the secondary side we will make the star connection. And star connection is made on the lowest voltage side, on the lowest turn ratio of the transformer, that is UN minus 15%. After that, the output of the transformer goes towards our transmission line. Each phase of the transformer is connected to each phase of a transmission line. And next what we have to do, students, we will perform the fault, and a fault will occur on the first phase of a transmission line, and this fault is from a phase to neutral fault, that is phase to earth fault. And what we have to do, we have to connect this phase to our earth or neutral point. And in order to connect this phase with the earth, we can connect it directly, but here because we have to measure the short circuit current, therefore we have connected an ammeter in series with this. So ammeter is connected in series, and this phase is connected short circuited with our neutral point. And next what we have to do, you can see in the procedure that we have to measure the voltage for each phase. So we have used only one voltmeter here in order to measure the voltage for the phase 2 and phase 3. So we will first measure the voltage for phase 1. So we have connected the voltmeter in parallel. First the output of second phase will go towards the voltmeter, and then from the voltmeter it goes towards our neutral point. So here we will get the voltage for the second phase, and we can also connect, after measuring the voltage from the second phase, we will connect this terminal to the third one, and we will get the voltage for our third phase. So you can see here, students, this is the procedure. We will assemble the circuit, and the primary of the transformer will be delta connection, as already discussed, that it will give a 380 volts. Then secondary will be star connection to UN minus 15%. And then students, we have also connected the capacitance to overhead line model. And then at the end, because we have to measure the earth fault current, so that's why we have connected the ammeter and in series. Then we have to measure the voltages at both phases L2 and L3. Now coming towards our circuit, we will perform it on our trainer, and we will see the results. Now coming towards the hardware, we have implemented the circuit on hardware, so we will discuss each part separately. As already discussed, that we have used here the fixed three-phase power supply, and output of each phase is connected with the power circuit breaker. And then from the circuit breaker, you can see that each phase is going towards the transformer. The transformer connections are already discussed. You can see that we have to make the delta connection here. Therefore here we have made the delta connection, and from the circuit breaker the output of the circuit breaker goes towards the input of the primary side of the transformer, that is 380 volts. You can see here we have a 380 volts. And now coming towards our secondary side, from the secondary side you can see here that we have made the here we have made the star connection, and star connection is made at UN minus 15%. You can see here we have connected the star connection on the lowest winding, that is minus 15%, and then output of the transformer goes toward each phase of a transmission line. From the transmission line, students, here you can see we have inserted the bridge plugs so that line to line capacitance gets connected. So we have inserted all the bridge plugs, and now here is the output of our transformer. Now what we have to do, we have to connect the first phase, that is this L1 phase, towards our earth, because we have to short circuit this first phase with our neutral. Now how we will connect it, you will see. So students, from the figure we have already discussed that we can directly connect this L1 phase towards our neutral, but as in the procedure we have to measure this short circuit current. Therefore we have first connected the L1 phase with the ammeter, and then from the ammeter it is connected, as it is connected, ammeter is connected in series. So from the ammeter then it will goes towards our earth, that is the neutral point. So here we have short circuited our first phase with the neutral by connecting an ammeter in series in order to measure the short circuit current. So in the procedure, students, as we have to measure the voltage for L2 and L3, that are our healthy phases. So first I have also connected this L1 L2 towards L1, because we can see that in order to measure the voltage for the short circuit phase, you will see that voltage will appear 0. So we can move this connection to L1, L2 and L3, and voltmeter is will connected in parallel. You can see here that this point is connected to the neutral, and here it will be connected in parallel with the transmission line phase. For each phase we can move this point for in order to measure the voltage for L1 phase. We will move it here, then for L2 we will move it here, and then in order to measure the voltage for L3 phase we will connect this point to here. So students, this is the whole circuit. Now coming towards readings, we will on the power supply and connect it towards our circuit breaker. Power supply is already switched on. So students, next what we have to do, we will on the circuit breaker. So here we will on our circuit breaker. The circuit breaker is on. So when the circuit breaker is on, you can see here that this is our short circuit current, that is 0.79, and this is the voltage for the second phase. So in order to measure the voltage for third phase, what we have to do, first we will note down the readings, and then we will check voltage for the third phase. So students, we will note down the readings here. Students, you can see here that we have noted down our short circuit current and voltage of the second phase. Next we have to measure the voltage for the third phase. For that we will connect the voltmeter towards the third phase. So students, here now I have connected the voltmeter in parallel with the third phase, and you can see that short circuit current remains same, but we will measure the voltage for the phase L3, that was 446.3, and we will write it on our manual. So students, here we have noted down the readings. Next students, we can see that for phase 1, that is L1, we can measure the voltage, and as you know that L1 is short circuited with the earth, so you will see that voltage will be 0 for L1 phase. So next we will connect L3, that is we will remove this L3 wire and we will connect it towards L1, and then we will see that what will be the voltage for L1, it should be 0 or not. So again we will off our circuit breaker from here, and we will connect the L3 point to L1, and again we will on our circuit breaker, and you will see here that we have a short circuit current, but voltages, as the first phase is short circuited, therefore its voltages are 0 volts. You can see here that it is 0 volt. Okay students. Okay students, for task 2 what we have to do in this case, this is a circuit of two phase short circuit with earth contact. So in this case two phase will be short circuit with earth fault. The only difference in the previous circuit and this circuit is that in the previous circuit only one phase was in short circuit with or earth contact, and in this case two phases will get short circuit with the earth contact. But the other difference here is that here you can see we have a variable power supply, and in that case we have used the fixed power supply. So why we have used the variable power supply? Because in this case we have to limit the short circuit current, therefore we cannot use the fixed power supply. So students, you can see here that the output of each phase will go towards the circuit breaker, and then from the circuit breaker it will go towards the transformer, and the connections of the transformer are same as in the previous circuit, that primary is connected in delta and secondary is connected in star connection, and then from the output of the transformer it goes towards the transmission line. And here we have only a difference, that in that case we have connected our first phase with earth, and for that we have connected an ammeter in series to measure the short circuit current for phase to earth. But in this case we have to connect these two phases, L2 and L3 phases will short circuit with the earth contact. So we can directly connect this second, third and earth fault directly. We can connect them and we can short circuit them. But in order to measure the current for each phase, we have to measure the short circuit current. Therefore we have used 3 ammeters, because we have to measure the short circuit current, and also we have to limit this current. Therefore we will use 3 ammeters here, and for first phase we have to measure the voltmeter voltage. Therefore voltmeter is connected with the first phase, as first phase is not short circuit, so voltage will appear for the first phase. So here from the first point we have connected the voltmeter in parallel with first phase, and then how this ammeter will be connected in series, so that they get short circuited with the earth point. So you can see here that output of the second phase first goes towards the ammeter, and same is the case with the third phase, that output goes first towards the ammeter. But next we have connected shorted all the ammeters with the same earth point. Here you can see here the first ammeter, second ammeter and third ammeter are connected here with a common point, and then they are connected to the earth. So students, here directly two phases are not short circuited with the earth, they are short circuited, but in series we have connected an ammeter to measure the current. So now coming towards our hardware part, we will see that how we have connected the same circuit on our hardware module, and we will verify our results. For that, first we will come towards the procedure. In the procedure, what you have to do, you will assemble the circuit according to diagram, and again same is the case, that you have to set the primary and secondary of the transformer as previously done in part 1. But in this case we will also inserted the connecting capacitance bridges, because we have inserted the bridge plugs to connect the capacitance to our line to line capacitance to our transmission line. But what we have to do, because we have a variable supply, so we will set the supply voltage to 170 volts. Due to high load current on the components during short circuit, the following measurements will be carried out very quickly, and voltages will not set to 220 or more than that. We have limited the voltages up to 170, and we will perform the readings very quickly. We will measure the second phase current, that is the short circuit current for second phase, third phase, and IK. It means this IK is actually the short circuit current, and then the voltage of the healthy phase, that was the phase 1 was healthy because it was not short circuited. Okay students. Students, now coming towards our task 2, we have already discussed it on manual. Now coming towards on trainer. On trainer, we have used here the variable 3-phase power supply. In the task 1, we have used fixed power supply, but in this case we have to use a variable 3-phase power supply. The circuit is almost same as task 1 here, but difference is that we have used a variable supply because we have to short circuit the two phases with earth. Therefore the short circuit will be very high. In order to limit that current, we cannot give the input fixed 380 volts. Therefore we have to limit the voltage, input voltage, up to 170 volts. Therefore we have used the variable 3-phase power supply. Now students, you can see here that the each phase L1, L2 and L3 of a power supply is connected here with our circuit breaker, and from the circuit breaker output goes towards the transformer. Here it is connected with the transformer. The transformer connections are same as done in the previously in task 1, that primary side is connected in delta connection and it is connected on 380 volts, and secondary is connected in star connection on UN minus 15%, and then from the output of the transformer it goes towards the transmission line. The bridge plugs remain inserted, and here the difference only here is that here we have to short circuit or two phases L2 and L3 with this neutral. And again students, as discussed earlier, that we can directly short circuit L2, L3 and this earth point, but as we have to measure the short circuit current for each phase and for earth, so we have to connect an ammeter in series with them, and then we will short them together. Therefore we have used 3 ammeters here. So in order to measure the short circuit current for L2, the output of L2 goes towards the first ammeter, and then in order to measure the short circuit current for L3, the output of L3 goes towards the second ammeter, and then in order to measure this earth current, the output goes towards the third ammeter, and the rest points of the ammeters are common. Here you can see these all points are common as we have previously discussed on our manual. So here these ammeters are connected in series with these two phases and the neutral, and then these are short circuited together, and this L1 phase is the healthy phase because this phase is not short circuited. Therefore we can measure the voltmeter for this phase 1 L1. So we have connected voltmeter in parallel. Here one wire goes towards the neutral and one will go towards the healthy phase L1. And students, as we have already seen that the phase for in the previous task 1, that L1 phase was short circuited in the first task. So L1 current was there, but voltage was 0 because it was short circuit. Therefore short circuit voltage was 0. So in this case L1 will have voltage because it is a healthy phase, and for L2 and L3 there is no need to measure the voltage because these are short circuited and their voltages will be 0 as we have already seen it in the task 1. So students, now coming towards readings, we will on our power supply. So students, here we have on our power supply by pushing the start button, and now we will connect on the power circuit breaker. So we will connect, so we can connect our power supply with whole circuit. So here we will on the circuit breaker. So power circuit breaker is on. We have to take the readings very quickly because we are performing short circuiting. So here this is the current for the phase 2 L2, and this is the current for phase L2, they are almost same. And current for the earth fault, that is, this is the earth fault current, that is 0.28. So students, you can see that this is the minimum current, that is the earth current is minimum as compared to the phase currents. Students, you can see here the voltage of a healthy phase is 282.6 volt, and for rest of the phases it will be 0 because they are short circuited. And students, now we will note down these readings on our manual. So students, here you can see that we have noted down the readings. And students, in the reading you have seen that the short circuit current IK is smaller than the two partial short circuit currents. Since the two partial currents are added together geometrically in the total short circuit current at the fault location, therefore the short circuit current is smaller than these two partial short circuit currents, that is I2 and I3.